I've got another Gene-Ism for you here. If you may or may not know, my dad passed recently, and so what I'm doing is I'm sort of sharing some bits of wisdom from him with everybody here and framing it hopefully in a way that makes sense for us here as gamblers and craps players. But anyway, this one is interesting. This one is one that kind of shaped my life for a long time, and in some ways not for good. Now that I'm older, I kind of understand better what he was trying to say, but this one, he used to tell me all the time, be relevant. Be relevant, be important, be rememberable. And in fact, what he would say is things like, it's a crime to be forgettable. Think about that for a minute. He would say, it's a crime to be forgettable. Don't be a cog in the machine. And he framed it to me like this. He would say, don't just go be a 9-to-5 worker and just go to work, come home, and that's it, right? And younger John didn't really get what he was saying. Younger John said, don't go to work, start a business, do other things to be relevant, right? And what happens is when you make that your focus, of course, you lose focus on other things that are more important, right? Now I can step back and go, okay, I really know what he was saying. And I've reframed the quote by saying, put your name in somebody's mouth, okay? A coworker of mine said that once, like, that's a really poignant way of saying the same thing, which is this, don't be forgettable. Instead, be the answer to the question. When somebody says at work, I need a guy, I need a gal that can do whatever, you better be the answer to that question, right? When somebody says, the big boss says, oh, that was a great initiative, we made a fortune, that was change the company, who led the team? You'd be the answer to that question. That's what he was talking about. Go to work, do the thing, be part of the machine, right? But be a relevant part of it. Be a rememberable and unforgettable part of that discussion. And I think that's what I'm like, oh my God, I wish I would have had the wisdom as a younger me to really understand what he was saying there. But if you think about it, he's not just saying, be the best. That's not the answer, right? It's not about being, not being a cog in the machine. What it's about is being passionate, showing heart, drive, tenacity, all those kind of intangibles that separate you from the guy next to you or the gal next to you. It's the things that make you the answer to the question. And I'm like, oh my God, what a revelation, right? And if I look at like my YouTube journey here, channels, and I look at all of us, right? There's 200 and some craps channels now. There's 1 billion YouTube channels out there, right? We always talk about like, what's your thing? Jeremy from Color Up asked me one day, what do you want your channel to be about? And I didn't really have the answer to the question. I knew I wanted to be relevant. I just didn't know what that meant, And if you're just another strategy runner, if you're just another one of the same kind of things, then you are. Even though you're kind of out there on YouTube, you're still a cog in that machine. And it's like you're not relevant, right? When somebody says, how do I XYZ in craps? How do I make that? I want to be the answer to that. I want somebody to say, you need to go watch John. John's got the answer. That's what drives me. I want to be the answer to the question. And I challenge all of you guys that have YouTube channels, be the answer to some question. Whether the question is, how do I throw the dice better? Whether the question is, how do I bet better? Whether the question is, how do I combine all the things I know and to be more of a complete player? Whether the question is, how do I earn a paycheck safely? Whether the question is, how do I manage my money? You need to, with your channel, decide which questions you want to be the answer for and drive towards that, right? That's my advice to you YouTubers out there. That's, I think, what this advice to me signifies, which is, again, don't be a forgettable person in life. Don't be a forgettable employee at work. Don't be a forgettable YouTube channel. Don't be a forgettable husband or father, right? Be relevant. Be relevant in everything. And I think that holds true to me in the way that I teach gambling, the way I teach coding, the way I handle my life now. I think striving for relevancy gives me tenacity, purpose, drive, heart. And I think that I've approached everything now with that. And thanks, Dad, for maybe now helping me really see what you meant. And this is, I think, one of the more deeper Gene-Isms that I can share with you. And I think you can apply that to all parts of your life, but also in the way that you approach this game. You can approach this game in a way that is not forgettable. And I think that's an important thing to think about. So there it is. There's my Gene-Ism for today. Thanks for giving me the time to kind of get into that. And now we'll go ahead and move on to other things.